Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the vibes. Welcome to the Views from the 601 podcast. Of course, and for all the new listeners out there, I am Darrell Jr., your light skinned host with the most. I ain't did that tagline in a minute. ain't did that tag, but I'm your host, Darrell Jr. And man, we got a couple important things to talk about in the introduction of the podcast. I do have a guest later on in the podcast. Me and Rick, as usual, we just gonna kick knowledge, talk about the music industry, talk about pop culture, and just what's going on in the world, man. But the first basic thing I want to announce is an event that I'm hosting. It's gonna be under VTC, and I am hosting a mental health seminar. And that's subject basically the subject of mental health is something that I believe in and I take to heart, and something that I just try to just express to others, and just the importance of mental health. I talked about this on my podcast before. I talked about this on the interview I did with USM today. And man, it's just an important topic, especially I can't express this enough, especially in the black community. It's something that we just don't talk about, and we just need to have a conversation. And so here at my school, University of Southern Miss in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, those of you that don't know, I want to just get maybe 6 to 10 people and just express, just have a conversation, just open up about what they are going through, ways that they are coping with what they're going through in their lives, and maybe just talk about family members that have gone through similar things that they're going through, or have it taken a toll on them. And that's basically what I want to do. More information will be left in the description of this podcast, and actually the link to register will be left in the description, and you can register through the website visionairesoftheculture.com under events. It will be on the homepage as well, but you can register under events. And those of you in the Hattiesburg surrounding areas, just let's just have a conversation. And like I said before, I'm looking towards the second week of November. I got to make sure I get the members in order and how many people I know going to be there, so we can work around people's schedule. I don't know if I'm going to do it at an early time or later time, but we just trying to work around schedules and try to do a lot of things behind the scenes and get that out there. Flyers will be posted online as well on my school campus. We're gonna do that maybe next week, but this is the exclusive. Like, I'm exclusively announcing this on my podcast, and I'm gonna announce the podcast come out every day, every Thursday morning around 8. So I'm gonna release the flyer to the mental health seminar sometime that day. Sometime that day. And you will just get audio or description of that event only on the podcast. But yeah, that's one event that I'm doing. And the second event will be hosted by VTC as well. It's a YouTube seminar. I have yet to I told a few people about this, but Hattiesburg, the city that I'm currently in, we have a lot of creators. We have a lot of creators here, and I noticed that we have a lot of YouTubers here. So my thing is, I want to get a lot, not just a few, a lot of YouTubers together in one room, and just like always, just have a conversation, collab with each other, support each other, subscribe to each other, and maybe just build something off that. Just build chemistry off that. Because like I said, it's too many creators around here to for them just to be in the shadow. And it's time. It's time, man. It's 2019. It's time for the creators to come to the light and just be truly authentic in what you're doing and just be out there. But yeah, that's the second event. That event will be announced as well, maybe this weekend or maybe next week. I'm aiming for next week because I got to put together a couple things behind the scenes on that. But yeah, those are two other things that I have going on within the VTC. Another thing I have going on with VTC is we are announcing our fall sale, and within our fall sale, we're gonna do 20% off T-shirts, and you can find that link in the description as well. Visionariesoftheculture.com/shop. And but yeah, basically it's autumn season. Autumn is here, and man, it's just truly. I tell myself this all the time. It's just truly a blessing and truly amazing to see someone in something that you created and someone in your clothing, and it just brings joy. to my heart. That's just how I can put it. It's just that simple. And it's just truly amazing to see, truly amazing to do. And word to Nip, the marathon must always continue. This also another exclusive thing. We are announcing hoodies, black and white VTC hoodies, towards the tail end of the month. I'm aiming for the last week of October. Yeah, I'm aiming for the last week of October. It's finally finna get cold down here in Mississippi, hopefully, but I know it's getting colder in other places. So, those of you that are on the lookout, 'cause I know I got a few people that were just interested in hoodies, and we wasn't releasing hoodies, so hoodies will be available for pre-order. Not in stock, but hoodies will be available for pre-order towards the tail end of the month. But yeah, that's the one clothing that we have. Like I said, 20% off that on VTC. What else we have going on? Gold Print Productions. We have a lot of things. We have a couple things lined up with that, from interviews, from sit downs. We have that, and we're just gonna try to give you some good content towards the end of the year. And man, this is the best time of the year to drop content, because like it's gonna be very cold. It's gonna be very cold, and people just wanna just a lot of people just wanna stay inside, read a book, watch videos, watch movies. So why not support and watch? Why not watch some dope content that we put out? So that's look for something coming in the next week and a half from Gold Print Productions, my production company. And that's basically it. I'm gonna leave the rest of the topics that we have on the docket. If I do forget something, I'll just touch on that. But yeah, man, this is me and Rick. Check it out. But yeah, once again, this is the Views from the 601 podcast. Now I'm joined by my boy Rick. What's up, man?
What's up, bro?
Man, how you been, man? How you feeling?
Man, bro, I'm good, chilling.
Man, it's been a
I ain't
minute.
spoke. It's really been a minute, bro.
It's been a minute since what? Middle of the summer since we last recorded?
Yup, around the middle of the summer.
Yeah, but yeah, that episode we did was released exclusively on the website. I know a lot of people probably didn't get a chance to listen to it, but if a lot of people looking for episode 49, that is on visionaries of the culture.com. You can look for that episode titled Gold Scorpion. But yeah, we just finna have a conversation, kick some knowledge, talk about the music industry, pop culture, hip hop awards. But yeah, man, I'm gonna let you tell the people about this iTunes situation. Like, I don't know too much about it, so just tell people
Okay.
what's going on, how important it is.
Okay, first thing first is like, okay, dealing with iTunes. iTunes is basically the pioneer for the digital era. The
Yeah,
digital era is like in 2010s, right? So since they're considerably getting rid of it when it's like 90% of like physical copies, um, that means you're like fully pushing streaming era, which means we're gonna be like streaming are going to actually be maybe like 100%. So it being a big issue is like a lot of artists who are their main demographic is buying their music, such as like all the artists like Mariah Carey, Jay, Beyonce, who has like an older fan base in terms of music, will no longer be able to maintain on physical copies, more so on screens. So it just changes the demographic a lot. People are gonna have to make changes in towards the way they market themselves and everything, because you can't physically buy it. Even Adele might actually have to make huge changes, because you can't a lot of her albums were pre-sold, and so it was like Taylor Swift, where she had like pre-sales for the album, to where a lot of her album sales came from physical copies.
yeah,
So yeah, it's gonna be like a huge difference in the industry. We might actually see artists grow up. We might actually see artists fall off, because they can't have that anymore. It's no different than when the digital era first started, and you had the physical copies at like Walmart and everything like that, and where people like Katy Perry, Flo Rida, Kesha, and all them flourished in the digital era, and people like, let's say, Janet, Mariah, I'm gonna say R. Kelly, him too, like fell down after the physical era had started.
yeah. So you saying this is only gonna affect like the older artists?
Yeah, because I mean the newer artists on this, like they're already coming into the screaming era, so it's like
Yeah,
they don't even understand anything about the digital era or have a fan base that's buying digital music.
yeah,
So if your fan base in their 20s or in their teens, then therefore they're not buying music at all anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not gonna affect them at all. It's like it's for older people who are used to buying their music.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see it affecting like. 'Cause I know Beyonce. She most of the time she releases her stuff exclusively through Tidal.
Yeah.
And then later on, it may be distributed through iTunes and Spotify and things like that.
So it's like her albums were 50% of her album sales come from pure sales because she only make it exclusively to Tidal, which means that her next album, if it's exclusively to Tidal, it might actually do poorly. Like, her solo album.
Yeah.
Because, you can't just, if you have no iTunes to back up the rest of your numbers, then Tidal doesn't have enough subscribers yet to balance the fact that you're competing against a person who have only their music on one streaming site, so a person who have their music on every streaming site, so might actually have an Apple deal or a Spotify deal, and all, etc. on that. So yeah, it's going to take a toll into her album sales and everything.
So what do you think is the reason for this? Like, what do you think the reason for Apple doing this? Because Apple is like, I know you can get your albums from Google Play and stuff like that, but people really just don't buy albums from Google Play like that.
Right.
So what do you think the reason Apple did this? Like, why do you think the reason?
Because they understand that music was already shifting into streaming anyway. So let's say if I start my album and I started Apple Music, right? So to make you use Apple Music, I'm going to have to get rid of another service. And so they're just thinking about, how music is going to be purchased in the future. Because it's easier to get money off of streams than it is to get off of physical copies.
Say that again. Tell the people that again.
Okay. Like, physical copies, once you buy an album, that's it. You're going to play the album for the rest of, your life.
Exactly.
But, like, when it comes to streams, every time you're playing that song, if you play that song 5 times in the next 10 years, they're getting played for every 5 times. If you own it, then therefore they're not getting paid for that.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's going to be a huge boost. And, well, not a huge boost. It's going to be a huge decline in sales like that. Because, like you said, and which I want the people to hear that again so they can get a better understanding of it. Like you were saying, you buy that album, you listen to it one time, it don't go into the streaming era. You can stream a song 1,000 times, and the artist's going to collect so much off that. So I can understand that segment.
Right. Then, not only that, it just like in today's generation, we have a generation with like Hove, Kanye West, Jay, Wayne, Beyonce, all these people, like, they're beginning to be in their 40s or 50s years old. And they're kind of wanting to push them artists out anyway, if they're not having. So it's like, and it's, just in terms of music all the time, that's typically what happens. I mean, there was even a time where it was Michael, Madonna, Janet, Mariah, Whitney Houston. There was a time where somebody had to push those artists out to get the artists that we're having currently. So people like Drake would be the new Jay-Z. And not in terms of, just money, but just in terms of in the order of music. So where people in their 30s would consider starting to be the icons and the legends of the newer generation, and you have the sprout of newer artists.
Yeah. Well,
so
yeah. Since you mentioned Drake and his music, man, like you seen the clips from Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I know you sent it to me in the chat, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I heard a little bit of it about the lies and stuff like that. Me personally, I'm gonna give my opinion on it, cause I'm a heavy Drake fan and all that, but he can do wrong. I look at him just as a human being. He's not like a god to me. And like, it's basically Drake has done things in the light, like the ghostwriting situation. Like things have come into the light from the Drake situation, from the ghostwriting situation, from now the Dennis Graham situation. I promise you, majority and 90% of artists not only lie in their music, but another 40% have ghostwriters. It's just Drake that they like to pick on in a sense. So how you feel about that situation?
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Let me tell you why there's difference between Drake and a lot of people. The reason why they pick on Drake a lot.
Yeah.
Drake is considerably the number one artist, right?
Absolutely.
And when you're the number one on top of the table, they're going to pick on you.
Absolutely.
Especially when you've been the number one for a great period of time.
It comes with it.
So the longer he's like on top of the food chain, the more you're gonna see there's gonna be more problems. Because just we even have to deal with that with every huge artist. Every artist is like, they'll find something, even if 10 million other artists are doing it. It's like, okay, well, that person is doing it. So it's like, you can be completely flawless, but they're going to find some type of problem with you. So the expectation is that he's going to have to deal with that regardless, because he is technically the top rapper in the industry. And with him lying about his dad or whatever, it's like his dad said, well, it sold records. And it's like, well, it did. So
it did.
I mean, the honesty of it is that people forget music industry is a business. First,
that's all it
right?
Down to.
And if you can't sell the record, I don't care how great the record is. If you cannot sell you, then you're not going to be signed. You're not going to be profitable, and you're not going to stay on the label. If you have to lie to stay on the label, people do it all the time. I mean, honestly, right? Rihanna is called Bad Girl Riri, but honestly, she was from Barbados. She never was typically that girl, but she grew into that image. Now, a lot of people create images for themselves, so being upset with one person because, oh, maybe they lied about this is like, okay, you understand it's a business, right? You're not supposed to believe everything somebody's saying in music.
Right.
Rappers have said they ain't killed 50 people. They ain't no rappers and killed 50 people.
That's every rapper right now.
Right. Every rapper will tell you they'll slide your whole crew. There's some rappers who wouldn't even do that. There's some rappers who take you to court.
And sue you in the process.
They sue you for defamation of character.
That just comes with the game, man. Like, I'm trying to think of this famous quote. It's just like, basically, when you at the top, everybody just want to throw stones at you, and they want to come for the Don, and that's just how it is. Like, I know, like, Drake been knowing this for years, since, like, the Meek Mill situation. People are going to come for you at your highest. Like, Jay-Z at his highest, people have came for him. Like, Nas came for him. Kanye, people are coming for him now. And it just that just goes with anything. It goes with sports for LeBron. It goes in anything. Like, at your highest, that's when people want to come at you the most.
Because we have to remember the fact that when Jay-Z and Eminem held that spot, Drake wanted that position.
Yeah.
So when you went after them, you have to remember that somebody's going to come after you as well.
Right. And I feel like this song Forever, featuring Eminem, Kanye, Drake, and Lil Wayne, that was the torch. That was like, Drake is the future.
Right.
Like, I can honestly say that.
Hold up. I'm going to say this. Actually, in all reality, that's kind of not how that went.
Yeah.
The future of rap was supposedly in pop music was B.O.B.
B.O.B.?
Yeah.
In pop?
This is bad. Yeah, this is actually the person, like, B.O.B. was supposed to be that person.
See, I thought you was finna say Lil Wayne, because around that era, Lil Wayne was running the rap shit, and I thought that was you gonna go, but you mentioned B.O.B. I mean, like, you know, he just came out talking crazy about we forgot him, and
because, okay, let's start. If we go back into that time period, the reason why I said Wayne wouldn't consider to be that person for that time period, Wayne was at his pinnacle of that time period. But you have to also understand, Wayne had already been running the 2000 era already. So when you're doing, like, new artists, it's typically people who are young and people who don't have 5 albums on their belt anyway. So B.O.B. was like the first rapper to have a #1 single in the 2010s. Matter of fact, he was about the only one for a little moment besides Wiz Khalifa and Eminem for a 4 or 5 year period of time. So, and he had one of the songs with Bruno Mars, and they had just put Bruno Mars out. So he was like Bruno Mars, B.O.B. They were supposed to be B.O.B. was supposed to be the face of hip hop. Bruno Mars was supposed to be the face of pop. What happened is B.O.B. started talking crazy, and because he was too pop and wasn't urban enough, the urban fans left him behind.
Say it again for the people.
The urban fans left him behind. Like, the people that real rap community respected rap and, you know, have a respect for the genre and stuff like that, they didn't want him in it because he was too pop. Even though he was probably better than half of the rappers out currently. But still, he was just too pop. And so his next album, he did nothing but, like, trap music and stuff like that. But it just didn't have the connection to the fans that he might have wanted it to. And so then he started talking really, I wouldn't even say crazy. I would say, well, he was crazy, but I would say there are certain things that you cannot say when you're at a certain status.
Yeah.
And he was saying those things.
Unless you Kanye.
And, I mean, even Kanye, it took Kanye West to be established to be crazy. Like, you have to have some established type. You can't just have one album and expect everybody else to respect you.
Hey man, name one genius that ain't crazy though.
I mean, understandable. I mean, Kanye West music backs up his craziness though.
Absolutely.
Like if he wasn't, Kanye West is just so good to the point to where he can be crazy and we just accept it because he's just that great.
All right, let me ask you this question. So, what when Drake entered his prime, basically when he was like when he peaked and he like went up and up, he climbed the charts. What year are you giving Drake that?
I would say 2016. 2016
2016.
was that year.
Okay, so that's recent.
Because okay, let me tell you something. A peak is literally nothing but 5 years.
Yeah.
At maximum, your peak is about 5 years at max.
Okay, I'm gonna give it 2011 when Take Care dropped.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why I don't put that. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, because in 2011, Lil Wayne was selling a million copies.
Yeah.
In 2011, Eminem was running the Hot 100 chart.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. Basically, I'm not saying when Drake was at the highs of the rap game. I'm saying when he was climbing up in the charts.
Oh, I mean, of course you're climbing up, but I consider your prime is when you're on top. Like when you're there. Like when you're top 3, you're at the top.
I can give 2015 when he was at his highest.
Yeah.
I can give 2015.
Like when Views came out, that was definitely like, okay, Drake is not just a rapper. He's at the match of the Rihannas, the Beyoncés, the people who are selling records on a consistent basis. He wasn't there yet. 2015 is where a lot of rappers, older rappers like Jay and them, had started to make a decline in their careers. Not necessarily a decline, but just you're older and you stop wanting to make so much of mainstream music. You start going more into making music for a conscious or making music to just for your fan base.
Yeah.
So around 2016, he was definitely the game. That's when people start looking at him as a competition.
And that's when Views came out, correct? That's when Views came out.
That was the year Views came out.
Okay, let me put this timeline together. Take Care came out 2011. Nothing Was the Same came out 2013. I'm gonna have to. I said 2015 or 2016.
Yeah.
I'm an inch between 2012 between 2016 in between those times.
Right.
And
I feel like
Say it again. Oh, you go ahead.
I just feel like at that period of time he was not like he was like almost at that line, but not yet. He wasn't commercial yet.
Yeah. We gotta do some research on the top popular. Well, Drake charted songs during that era. We gotta do some research on that.
Bro, I already know. Like, I already know. I can tell you, Drake was busting out hits. Okay, even at that time period, pop music was just too much of a focus.
Yeah.
So that's why he didn't have maybe a number one single as a solo artist, or maybe a lot of top fives. Because at that time, having a rap hit single was like the biggest thing you could have. Because rappers just didn't have them at that time, or they wasn't as flourished as they was in maybe 2017, where it's not a problem. Well, back then when pop artists was like running the charts, only person either you was a pop rapper or that was it. Because at that time, I think even Nicki Minaj was outselling him at that time period.
Yeah. You may be right on the Nicki Minaj part, because I know that's probably when did Pink Print come out?
Pink Print came out like 2014.
Okay, so I can see that.
Like, so in her time, her peak would be 2010 to 2014.
Yeah, and I remember this
would be her prime.
Yeah, this is something that we discussed before, and this is basically gonna be a topic that we can go on forever. And like you mentioned the B.O.B. situation, did you see his rant? You heard his rant, right?
Man, he has so many. Which one?
He was like, I forgot what he said, but he
talked about the earth being flat. I mean, come
on.
on.
No, I'm talking about the recent one. He came out recent and said ain't nobody checking for him. Like, it was just crazy.
I mean, but honestly, like, he put himself in that situation.
Yeah.
Because as much as I can say about Wayne, how much as Drake have his issues and Nicki have her issues and all that, they have always been able to say they can go extremely pop, but they don't mind going to do songs with rappers who not hitting the top 40.
Yeah.
And that was his issue. He wasn't doing that.
So
he was only doing pop music.
Do you think B.O.B. can survive in this climate?
In this climate, no.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
He would have to do 100% reinvention of himself to work, and he need a budget. It's possible, But as of right now, I don't think so.
Yeah. I wonder is he signed? Is he signed right now?
He was signed to Atlantic. That's how I knew he was gonna be a face because he was signed to Atlantic.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
But yeah, let's see what else we got that we could touch on the music. Did you hear the Baby album?
I did.
I heard the first half of it.
I heard the whole album.
It was very, I wouldn't say mainstream. He went a different route with this one.
Right.
And I know he set the tone with intro. People are still buzzing that now. And it's just like, remember I told you, remember this conversation we had? I told you, I think you asked me, or we asked each other the question about who was going to be the face, basically, in a few years. Not, well, I can't remember what was the conversation we had, but I know I mentioned the baby in there.
Him and Megan, like, was they going to be faces in the next 10 years?
Yeah. And I don't know if I'm changing that statement, but I still stand by it in the sense that it's a possibility that he's going to be in that conversation.
You know what? After that album came out, I changed.
What did you say before? I can't even remember.
I said he's like the greatest contender of being a face because his mixtape was just doing so well.
Yeah.
So
you're not messing with the album?
It's not that. It just, I understand music and I understand when you have a proper label doing proper things for you. And I know that if a label was intended to him to be the face of the label, that album wouldn't have came out so quickly.
Yeah. Because it's currently number one, I think.
Yes, but you got to see.
Which is expected.
I mean, of course.
Yeah, which is expected.
But for one, let's say he only did 100K. That let me know right then and there he really moved it really too quickly because he should have done 300 or 400K off the bat.
First week?
Yeah, first week. That should have been. If you was gonna be the face of something, you need to at least do 200K, at least. Okay. The second problem is that even looking at the features, I'll see Chance the Rapper, Gucci, Nicki, Lil Baby, Stunner for Vegas. Okay, me knowing that you're going to be the face of rap, which means that they would have, to say that he doesn't have anybody on here that's really mainstream besides Nicki Minaj, says that the label didn't want to pay for some actual great features.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking about, we had a thing, remind you back in 2010 when we had Drake and Nicki releasing projects and you had like top level people on their albums.
Absolutely.
Like, did Forever come out on Drake's album? And I think Drake's album came out in like 2009.
No, Forever didn't come out on nobody's album.
Like, I just feel like he haven't collaborated with the right people to say that he's going to be the top.
Yeah. Let me rephrase that on what you said. Forever came out. I'm not Forever, but So Far Gone came out 2009. I think the only features on that was Lil Wayne.
Oh, let me go check. Actually, I can definitely pull that up.
Yeah.
It's not that. I'm looking for like the first album. Was it Thank Me Later?
Not Thank Me Later. Thank Me Later was Are we classifying that as an album?
Thank Me Later.
Yeah.
It's considered an album.
It's an album. Yeah, that's the one that had the heavy feature from Jay-Z, The Dream, Switch Beats, Nicki, Alicia Keys.
Yeah, you had Nicki, you had Swiss Beats.
Yeah, I'm classifying as an album.
Dream, Young Jeezy, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne,
T.I.
And yeah, so like you think about even at that time period where you had Young Jeezy, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z. For one, Jay-Z don't jump on nobody album unless he like you. The Dream, you had almost like half of the album had features, which mean in Alicia Keys, and these are all the people who was like at the top of their game at the time. So they had like heavy features on the album. I remember like Nicki had Eminem, she had Kanye West, she had Rihanna. So it's like I can't see him being the number one person, and the highest person you have on your album is Nicki Minaj.
And that's for the baby, correct?
Right. And the only reason why he got on her album is because she coming out with an album and he was just popular.
Yeah, she can keep that.
Like, she just riding his little wave right now.
She can keep the album. Personally.
Dang, don't be so disrespectful.
I ain't being disrespectful. You the one that said that, well, I ain't gonna bring it up, but that ain't disrespectful. She can keep it. She can keep it, personally.
Of according to Joe Budden, is actually pretty great. So I'm gonna give Joe Budden the benefit of the doubt because I just know he actually have a great opinion on certain things.
Yeah.
And so if he said it's gonna be pretty dope, I can see it being dope.
I can
Because
see that.
if she lose now, it ain't come back. She ain't come back.
Oh no, she got too many people on her back right now. She can't.
Like she got to either come back right, but lately on them features, I'll say this. Lately on her features, I can considerably say she ain't had some fire features this year.
To my Nikki?
Yes, she had some incredible features this year.
Interesting.
Because the feature on the Chance the Rapper album was dope. The Baby album, she basically gassed the Baby album because his verse was trash. And that Welcome to the Party feature, that was dope as well. So I'm gonna give her the fact that she been gassing some features up this year.
Interesting.
And she been on the charts lately too though. She been, even though she haven't promoted the Hot 100, she been sticking around on there.
Nikki, correct?
So, because people like Hot Girl Summer, even though it ain't summer, and that song should have came out maybe in like May or June. I don't know why she waited to fall to put out Hot Girl Summer. It's like it ain't even summer no more.
It's not. It's fall.
I'm gonna say this. Summer Walker album was dope. It was pretty cool. I full with it. She's a great example of people who putting finances behind labels.
Summer Walker, correct?
Yeah, cause okay, let me go to the title right quick. Cause you can look at her features versus the Baby feature. She had Bryson Tiller, Usher,
Party
Next Door, Drake, Slat, A Boogie. And if you know this, on her album, she sampled Lenny Williams, "Cause I Love You," which is a difficult sample to get. She sampled "Say My Name" by Beyonce, which is a difficult sample to get. She sampled an Usher song, which is a difficult sample. Like when you get some samples, it's like you have to pay a large amount of money to get these samples. Then yeah, so she might actually be, hopefully she might be the face of R&B because she's really pretty.
Yeah.
And she have a nice voice. She actually have a nice voice.
Is SZA dropping soon?
And SZA, I don't know what SZA doing.
LMA could be dropping soon.
LMA, I don't give her no hope.
You don't give LMA hope?
Because she only come out with okay singles. Her albums are trash.
I can give you somebody who I think will be the face of R&B towards in the future. It's her.
I would say her can only be the face of R&B if she learned that if she does start doing commercial music.
Yeah.
If she does the music she making, she will never be that person.
I mean, it's just all about the masses and the opinions. Like, if she just be truly authentic in what she doing, I can applaud that.
I mean, I don't feel like there's nothing wrong for what she's doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, Erykah Badu is a legend, but Erykah Badu was never mainstream. Neither was Jill Scott. There's nothing wrong if you choose the path to make those paths. But to be the face of something, you have to be able to go with the masses.
You're right.
So she might be a legend, but she won't be like, okay, Jill Scott and like maybe Jill Scott and Mariah Carey are two different artists. And we look at them in two types of different artists.
Yeah.
We don't expect a top 10 record or a number 1 record out of Jill Scott.
You're right.
So, I love Jill Scott, but it's just that's not the type of music that she makes, and that's okay if you don't make that type of music.
I mean, yeah, it's a lane for each person. It just is what it is on that situation. Like I can see, cause like you can tell by features alone how they're trying to go with the album alone.
Like even when I remember when Cardi B album came out and she had the Migos, 21 Savage, Chance the Rapper, SZA, Bad Bunny, like almost every
Kehlani
song
as well, right?
Kehlani.
Yeah.
Every single on the album was a feature or a sample of an already hit song. Like there was no song on the album that they felt like couldn't chart.
Yeah.
Because they had, like, even if she didn't have a feature on it, she'll get a song that was a hit song back in the day. They know if they put it back out, it will still be a hit song.
Yeah.
It's like when anybody use the Juvenile song "Back the Thing Up," something like that. You kind of know that you're gonna get a Hot 100 entry. It's like it been sampled by everybody because it seems to work.
Oh yeah, yeah. But
Yeah, so
yeah,
it just yeah.
uh, um, another topic that I had written down. Have you been following the Tyler Perry situation that's been going on?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
So I'm gonna touch on that. And basically, to the people that don't know, Tyler Perry just opened his own studio, which was very much authentic and in house, which means he didn't have any help from no major media conglomerates. It was fully built and cultivated by his team and his team only. And of course, with the supporter of his peers. And man, that's something. It was built in Atlanta. It is bigger than, I can't remember what studios they named it was
It
bigger than that.
said bigger than like the studios in Hollywood and
Yeah,
like New York
yeah,
and stuff like that.
yeah. And I truly, from the bottom of my heart applaud that. And that is just something that not just black people alone, but just young people should strive for. Just strive to be authentic, build your own. It just goes with just surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals that are on the same journey as you. It's not always gonna be. It's like it's not always gonna be easy. And man, like I just basically growing up always knew Tyler Perry for just Medea, 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 and this and that. I never looked into that. Looked into the behind the scenes and the business side of what he's doing, and from his deal with BET Plus, from Tyler Perry Studios, and just being basically, I just what it boils down to and what I want to say is truly the definition of ownership. And everybody that know me, I am big on ownership. I am big on owning your own and just being proud to say you truly created that and that is authentic. And man, I'm trying to figure out how I can tour the studios. Like me and my girl right now
Oh
trying
yeah.
to figure out how we can tour the studios and just be able to just get a glance of that studio. So how do you feel about that situation? Because I know,
I mean, I feel like for one to start the fact that we don't give him enough credit because he's like one of the only black directors that we can say that have been making movies for decades and decades and is still relevant.
absolutely,
Uh,
rest in peace, John
secondly,
Singleton.
right, right. Secondly, just being honest, we gotta start supporting black people in what
Absolutely,
we do. Like we gotta stop looking to be accepted by somebody else and start saying, you know what, okay, that's fine. We ain't gotta accept this. We can go if a white person is not wanting to hire us to the restaurant, or they don't support black people, that's fine. Let's start making our own. Let's start going to our own restaurants. Let's start going to like he just made a Black Hollywood. Okay, so when he puts out a movie that's similar to that movie that you was gonna go to that white person, let's think like you know what. If I go to Tyler Perry's movie, right, they let me know that a person of color is going to get hired, a person of color is going to get directed, a person of color is in the movie and all that, right? So maybe I should give it a chance and not just think of it as a black movie. Because sometimes black people think of stuff as a black movie, and it's like it's not that much of a difference. And we'll start having budget for movies if we start supporting our own movies,
that's all it boils down to. Like you
right?
said, it support.
Like Black Panther, right? People was talking about how Black Panther and that, and I'm like, we would have movies like that in the past if we just simply say, you know what, we're gonna go because you know why we're gonna go because that black man over there did it, and if white people can get up and support any BS that other white folks do, then we should be able to do the same.
That's all it boils down to, man. Like people, I I stress this too much about not only just ownership but the word support, and that's something that we lack. And me personally, I try to do my best and support the people around me, even strangers. Like I have done it on a podcast, played people music that I only just had like small conversations with, and just get their message out there. And man, that's just support. It's free.
Right.
It's free. From
Like,
sharing, liking, it's a click. It's free. That's it.
right. Like I saw a person who was talking about the fact who was talking. He was a black shoe owner, right? And he created shoes, and his shoes was very similar to some of the shoes that Jordan was putting out. And he was acknowledging the fact that they were still Nikes and stuff was still in his design. And people was talking about I wouldn't wear that, or I wouldn't do this. And I said, you know something, bro? You think about it. If a shoe look exactly like the Jordans, right? or not Jordans, it's just Nikes, anything, right? And a black man made it, right? Why are you upset, or why wouldn't you want to wear that shoe that a black man made? That you know, of course, if he gets up, right, then he's gonna hire more black people, and he might actually hire your son or your daughter, or your uncle, your auntie, to his shoe design or to be able to design his shoe. But yet you want to support a white man because it's it's Nike, and this is what we do. And not because you like the shoe, but just because you want the brand newest of that. It's like we have to get out of this mindset of just we want to go buy Chanel, we want to go buy Gucci, and not because they're great products, but because we feel like after we make a certain amount of money, we should go support white people. It's like, okay, there's black designers who making amazing things or even better things than the white designers are making. Well, we don't support it because we consider it not name brand. At one point, Chanel was not name brand. Somebody had to go pay top dollar for it and make it name brand. So if we buy more of our own clothing, more of our own stuff, then eventually it will consider be name brand to other white folks. So that's just that support system. We have to stop thinking that we shouldn't support each other because of this. Is like at the end of the day, for more jobs for us, for more people to be like us, being on TV, being entrepreneurs, we have to start promoting ourselves, and just you ain't gotta buy it. Even if you don't buy it, just say, hey, I'm gonna take a picture, I'm gonna support, I'm gonna like the picture, I'm gonna follow, I'm gonna comment, just because I see this what you're trying to do, I'm gonna do this. It's like we just be too busy like saying, oh, they're not gonna make it, or this and this and that. It's like, you know what? You ain't got to be like that. Cause white people, they support theirs.
That ain't nothing. That's what I'm saying. That ain't nothing but that crab in the barrel theory.
Right.
And that's all it boils down to.
Like,
yeah, that's all it boils down to. Just support. Like visionairesculture.com/shop. That's all it is. Just support, support, support. And I stress that all the time, man. It's just like what we doing with the business, man. Like we just trying to put people in better positions. That's all.
right.
Like me and you, we got some things that we cooking up. We ain't gonna really just express right now to the world, but we got some things cooking up, and we just like basically the whole objective is just put people in better positions on that.
Right.
But yeah, did you said you told me off mic you didn't get a chance to catch the hip hop awards, right?
No, I didn't. I'm so happy that they gave Lil Kim a hip hop award though.
She spoke about that in her speech. She was like, "Why BT and gave me an award, Chad, mama?" Like,
Like, I'm just gonna say this, like, just as female hip hop in that situation, it's like we have to do more of celebrating, just females. I mean, there are not even that many of them. There's no reason why I should have an award because it's only been a handful of them. So, just her getting the award was like really nice on hip hop, because I think she deserved it. I mean, we can see that a lot of people after her followed her example. You know what I'm saying? Things that we maybe took, her talking about sex and all that. Shoot, I mean, it's okay now, and maybe people don't feel like, oh, that's not this and that or that. I'm like, look, bro, she caught hell for that back in the day. They had so much things to say back in the day.
right.
And so she influenced that type of culture on us, whether it's good or bad. I mean, we don't say nothing about Tupac talking about killing people, so we shouldn't talk about her talking however she wants to talk about.
Yeah, man,
So,
it was truly well deserved. And one of the standouts from that, not only from the biggest one, of course, the biggest one was them honoring Nipsey, but the one that stood out to me was the Rhapsody performance. And a lot of people don't know about Rhapsody, and it's a shame, man. It's a shame. People just gotta be. That's all. I mean, I can't stress it enough. Just get on game on that. Just get on game on that. But yeah, man. What else you wanna discuss before we end this episode?
I would say this, my last comment on that, even Lil Kim in anybody's situation. I would rather people start giving people flowers while they're alive than when they
Absolutely.
die. So when your legends are alive, people who are like, even if people not getting awards, like let's start just younger generations of artists Start saying, look, you want to sample this person's song? Take them. I respect what Saweetie did because people ain't been thinking about Pato Pablo in a very long time, right? And it's like, hey, you sample that person's song. It's nothing wrong with taking them on stage and say, I just want to show you that your song influenced me so much that I wanted to use it for my generation. And we use so much stuff from the older generation, so much stuff. So when you have award shows, like, it's okay to go take if you use a Pat LaBelle song, hey, I really love your music. I grew up on your music. I want you to perform with me. Just don't think because they're older that you don't have to show them respect, because eventually you're going to be an older artist and you want people to show you respect and use your music and give you homage. So
Right.
just while people are alive, just give them their flowers while they're alive.
Yeah, man, that's all it
Don't
boils
wait.
down
Yeah,
to.
don't wait till they die like Nipsey. Don't wait till they die like Nipsey Hussle, right? And then say, oh well, he did so much this and this and that. It's like you could have been saying that and supporting him while he was here.
Right. Rest in peace, Nipsey, man. May his legacy continue. The marathon will always continue.
You're right.
Always.
And if Jay-Z died today, I swear to God, you would swear for God that people would thought he was the best thing in the world.
I've given you're right.
Like if there was a chance today, right? And let's be honest, if him and his wife died right now, you would have think it'd been the biggest thing that ever happened on this planet. Right? But right now they're doing so many things to help their community, and so many, like Tyler Perry doing that. It's like, you know what? We need to start giving our flowers out now. Like, showing respect now.
You're right, man. It's just I speak on it I speak on it all the time. Like, you hear me giving Kanye, Jay-Z, Drake, Nip. You heard me give them their flowers. You heard me give Nip his flowers while he was alive. And we just gotta wake up.
I totally agree.
That's it. But yeah, man, I appreciate the knowledge. Appreciate your time, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, bro.
All right, one. But yeah, y'all heard us before on the previous episode, Gold Scorpion, and that's basically what it just boils down to, is just support one another. It's free game. Support is free game, from sharing, clicking, liking. We on our phones anyway. Every day we on our phones. You sit on the couch every. That is the views from the 601 podcast. All the events, all the links will be found in the description of the episode. Please share. It's free. Support is free. And I'm out. How you pause?